Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Harakah Kadash, double honors to the apostles and elders, great mills on the roll one, Shalom to the brothers in the wax series truth. Got this article on RT, and it's again about these the conflict you got going on between those that don't want to get the yab and those that get that basically with pressuring and putting it on the people. And it's funny because it's like this thing's been going on for a while, and it's like even before it came onto that point, before it was the masks, and then before that you just had a constant build over a matter of years to where it's like, especially in America, in the UK as well, especially in like areas like London, where you've got like that big political divide between those on the left, those on the right. It's like that complete and total like just not even trying to see each other, trying to meet eye to eye or try to work together in any form of way. People are just looking at each other like they're fucking lifelong enemies. They're like, so if one of their friends has sex with someone from across the political aisle, they're gonna cut them off and never speak to them ever again. So it's kind of funny because it's like, and that's just solely based on like who they voted for, whatever, and it's become a kind of what's the word? It's just been a big issue, man. It's been a big matter that's kind of been in the minds of the people, to where like now as soon as you mention certain topics, if if people aren't saying the right thing, they'll they'll be get like they'll get all kinds of upset. They'll like they'll get irate, all kinds of things. So all that so-called, when you go back like maybe 20, 30 years ago, to where people might just be thinking like, okay, we work together for the greater good of America or something to that extent. That doesn't exist. That doesn't exist anymore. Um, yeah. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Okay. So this is on RT. Watch protesters against Max Yab mandates square off with counter rally in Boston. Says police had to intervene after a rally against C-19 max mandates and government restrictions clashed with counter protesters over the weekend in Boston, Massachusetts. Boston, fucking hell, Massachusetts, in Boston. Organizers behind the main protest, dubbed Rise Against Tyranny, said they were demonstrating against max passports, face diapers, mass layoffs, and unconstitutional mandates. Which is funny because it is actually unconstitutional, but that shows that constitution, that shit's been in the bin. Counter protesters, however, tried to drown out the anti-mask crowd, trying to play music at the event through speakers or with a full brass band. That sounds like nothing but chaos. And, well, that sums up the year. As tension flared up between groups, scuffles erupted. Numerous demonstrators were seen exchanging blows and taking down barriers, prompting police and full riot. USA. Yeah, that's a that's that scene sums up the majority of relations that go on between people in like the Western world presently. People ain't talking. There's no reasoning going down. It's like it's got to the point where people might reason for about 2.5 seconds, and then they're looking to suplex and put your head into the earth, because that's how far the divide's gone. It's funny because it's just something like politics, which for the longest little while was not that significant. It didn't carry that much weight. So then, what people are losing their minds. Yeah, people are losing their minds over these things. But then what? It's that's a curse, more or less, against against this place. Because why? Because as far as for this is Esau's kingdom. It's Esau's rulership. You got Esau there, suplexing, uppercutting, doing fucking shoryukens and hadoukens at each other in the crowd, because they're thinking about the differences on their decisions about which political party they vote for, which those things are already decided for them before they even go to vote for these things. But that's how bugged out people are. Let's see. So it's the same spot, just a different angle. At one point, counter-protesters appeared to have damaged a van allegedly driven by anti-mandate activists. Chants of Nazis out can be heard in the video as protesters are banging on the vehicle. 2 people were arrested. Yeah. So that's it's like and this is the thing, is you're only gonna have higher amounts of pressure. You only have situations that require more, that are basically gonna cost people more, as far as in depending on what's done. So then when people come to dealing with those kinds of things, they're gonna get even more fucking irate, even more bugged out. They're gonna be all kinds of messed up, man. Yeah. We read this. 2 Esdras 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. Yeah, that sedition, man. That complete discourse, that hatred, that enmity between men. That's something that it's been around for the longest, man. It's like, even I remember when the Iraq War was going on, you had man going out protesting that for years. Might have been like them man were out there for a while. They lived out there as well. It was wild. Them man went in. But that's how the degree to which these divides have gone. And it's when you deal with mainstream media, you deal with the narratives that are being pushed. It's basically people are getting more entrenched in whatever side they've dug their heels in with, and so it's more and more conflicts, man. More and more conflicts. That's all you've already seen. Matthew 24 and 12. And it says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Yeah, iniquity is abounded, man. Iniquity is going wild. That's why these guys, like, as far as for everything Esau Edom was pushing, it's all iniquity, man. The whole kingdom is based upon iniquity, and that's how it thrives and flourishes. That's what it flourishes under. So then what? It's the love of many is wax cold, man. Everyone out here is basically looking and thinking about their own interests, man. They're thinking about those. They might extend to as far as like maybe their parents. A lot of people don't really give a fuck about their parents anymore as well, or their kids. Even that, a lot of people don't give a fuck about their kids no more, and probably wife or husband as well. Like in somewhere in those kind of spheres, and then otherwise they're just like fuck everyone else. And that's the thing. It's like people that have got cold. There's no that so-called you know belief of society all coming together as one and working together for some common goal. That shit has been thrown in the bin for the longest. Now they're all thinking about, oh, fuck these other people, and just basically bring about what I desire into the world. That's really what it is. Um, was it 11? Nah, it's not. Oh, nice. Let's see. Cost. Okay. It's 12. Matthew 12:25, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And that's what you're witnessing. Esau, Edom, he's that Satan, he's that adversary, man. That great adversary, mainly against what? Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Then Yahushua, then Israel, man. That's who Esau's that great adversary against, and that's the role that he's got into the the position of, and he's not back down. He's that great adversary, and it's what how is his shipment stem when it's what all he's doing is basically conflicting against himself, whether it's the Americans and the Russians, whether it's the Republicans or the Democrats, whether it's through different forms of of so-called belief in Esau's world, man. Some Christian whites and atheist whites, all these different forms of which Esau's peoples are just being divided and separated, and they're just like doing their own thing. Those things are all earmarking his kingdom for destruction. They're basically like, hey, look, this guy ain't gonna make it, man. How's this place gonna continue? You can see everything's a mess, and it's got to the point where it's like people, all they can do is just suplex each other into the earth, man. Elbow dropping, chucking man off the cage into the table. The table covered in fucking in thumbtacks. Getting Mick Foley'd out here, man. But that's where it's got to, man, and it's gonna get worse. But hey, that shows this place is done, man. It's cracking. It's get this one and finish on it. Was it Daniel 2? And so this is what the toes. Part of clay. Daniel 2:43. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is unmixed with clay. Yeah, and when that's that time now of the part of the statue where it's what? The 10 toes made of iron and miry clay. That's what? They're not cleaving together. They're not cleaving together as as one. That time ended, man. And that's the funny thing is, like, especially when you do with America, it's really set up off rebelling and conflicting against other forms of Edomites, man. That's in the prophecy, man. The little horn going to war with the other 3 horns and succeeding. That's why what? Them guys ain't they don't have that same accord spirit that they're trying to make happen with the EU, which that's also crumbling. So what? It's just done, man. Because like I said, if Satan be dividing himself, how then should his kingdom stand? It can't. It's done. It's at its end, man. These elites are gonna try and bring their plans in. Part of their plans is doing a mass amount of death upon their own people, mass amount of conflict, going against a bulk of their own people, man. Basically trying to consolidate power within just them. What a small number, man. Very small number. So yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom.